welcome everybody. This is going to be Bob's second interview with a true grass track and speedway legend. We wanted to do this one, or Bob wanted to do this one before Christmas, so that it was out for Christmas, but with the COVID and everything that was going on, we had to put it down. But now we're back here, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this one. He is a true legend, and he is the people's favourite, and he was one of my favourites, although he used to kick my arse more times than I did his. Steve Schofield.
Hiya.
Right, I think the first thing, we're probably all lucky that Steve went down the path of, first of all, doing grass track and then moving on to the speedway. If it wasn't for him being so short, we would probably never have seen him on a bike, but I'll let Steve tell you the story about that one.
Sure. Well, I used to sort of play a lot of football, and we used to play sort of Saturday and Sunday and for the school and stuff, and I used to sort of a bloke called Derek Smethurst used to sort of help in our team, and he used to play for Chelsea, and he used to sort of put me forward, and I used to go and train with Chelsea down at, it actually had a ground in Mitcham. It was called the Naffy, that used to be called, years ago. It's gone now, it's all houses on it, but used to go down there for a little while, and then that sort of didn't come to too much, and then got seen by somebody from Fulham, and I went sort of used to go training with Fulham sort of every Thursday or Wednesday, I can't remember, I think it was Thursday, and then that used to drop me off on the way home to Wimbledon Speedway. I used to go with my dad's mate. He used to go there every Thursday, watch the Speedway, and used to sort of like that, and used to watch that every Thursday, and that was it. And then all of a sudden they said, well, it's coming to signing on for apprentice, and you're sort of a little bit small really, which I was only little. Well, I'm little now, but I was even smaller then, so I sort of knocked that on the head a little bit, lost a bit of interest in the football after that, and just went into sort of, well, I think, if you can remember, like years ago, there was like junior grass track, and the person used to live at Worcester Park, which isn't far from me, Mrs. Johns, which is Peter Johns' mum, and she used to run the South Eastern Grass Track Club. I can't remember what it was called now, and they used to race at Highwade, and I was sort of about 15, and I sort of had a Tiger Cub. Dad got me a Tiger Cub, which I can thank him, or sort of hassle him for getting me into the sport that way, if you know what I mean. And I used to ride there, and then I used to do that, and then at the end of the season, before the following season started, I was 16, and I couldn't really race against any, I don't know why I couldn't race against any others at 16, so I had to go into the season once, so I used to ride round on my own, just do 4 laps on my own, then used to go to sort of Essex, I think it was Stapleford, somewhere around there, and used to do the same there and ride that, and then Dad used to take me to a grass track, like, just used to sort of ride round at the back really, because they was all so much faster than me, and I only had the 200 cub and they had the 250, because I was on the 250 class, and I used to ride there, and just that's basically how it sort of started really, just from there.
Yes, and I can remember when I was working at Don Godden's at the workshops in East Malling, you and your dad come down there and come in, and I think we built you a 350 and a 500, which were Jap engines at the time.
Yeah. They did really. I wish I still had them actually. They was nice bikes at the time. They'd still be nice now if I had them, you know. But I had a 350 and that, and then I used to try all the free classes because the 350 and the 500 were always so tough, especially in the southeastern centre. There was like yourself, Roland Duke, Johnny Britcher, and so many, Dave Spain. There were so many good riders. It was so hard to sort of get lots of rides, if you know what I mean. It was nice when they said, "Oh, it's 3 legs and then a final." Then you know you're going to get 3 rides. Normally it was like a heat and a final, or a heat and a semi and a final if you was lucky. It was really, the southeastern centre was so tough, you know, for riding wise, because it was easier for me to go into the southeast, because I was living in South London. I could just go straight into Kent, and it was close.
Yeah.
You know.
But a lot of those heats at the time, because there were so many riders, particularly on 500s, that there would only be maybe 1, 2 out the heats that went to the final.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes real top riders would not even get to the final.
Yeah. Oh, it was just so tough, especially in South East. It was really, you know, you used to go there, have your ride. I think that's why I probably had 3 bikes. So at least I would get in
2 or 3 rides.
Yeah, I'd get 253 or 500. Then and then unlimited, I'd be lucky. So I'd do the 4 and then to go home after that, because it was all ended then. Because sort of that one, not just for 1 year, but I used to go for quite a few years.
The only problem with that, Steve, was when you got home, you had 3 bikes to clean.
Yeah, that was a trouble. It's like a week's work to do all the gear for next weekend.
Yeah.
And then the same thing went on from there. But I used to enjoy doing it and didn't have nothing else really.
No, well, I can remember this little lad with 352 on his bike, and I thought, you know, he's getting quicker. It didn't take you too long. But then, of course, did you then get tied up with Roger Maynard with the BRMs, or? Yeah,
I don't know how that. I was thinking the other day how that happened, and I can't really. The only thing I can remember is that there was a meeting at Portsmouth Airport, and I rode Roger's bike there, and I was doing okay, but he had a foot change, a Bewley foot change, which was sort of like normally they was you get the old lever and it was like an automatic change, and you pulled it just went into gear and that was it. And it came to the final. I was doing pretty well through the heats, and I got to the final and I missed the gear change. So obviously missed the start. That was that. Now, I think that's how it sort of. I can't remember how he sort of come to helping me actually, but it was really good when he sort of helped me when he did. You know, it was.
Yeah, he obviously could see your potential, and but then of course on the 350 Westlake you won your first British Championship.
Yeah. That was on a BRM. He built that as well. I think what he done, I think that was when the first one I had was a side carb. I hope they don't quote me on that because I'm not. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it was a side carb, and then he made one with like a double set in the frame, so it was bent down.
Yeah.
And you could have a centre carb, and then it went to there from that. And I won it on that BRM, and that was good.
That was the start of being British 350 champion for 7 times.
Well, I hope you're not going to ask me what year that was, because I wouldn't have a clue.
I'm not too sure. But I know you stopped then, and I think that was possibly because you had won 7, and obviously Alf Hagon had won 7.
Well, there's a story of that.
Right.
You know, Martin Hagon said to me, my dad won 6. He said, you got to do the 7. So I said, well, I'm not that. He said, yep, you got to keep going. So I was lucky enough to get the 7, and that was really. And when I done that, that was. I don't know. I packed it up really. Then I just that was probably the main reason. I just went from there and didn't do it after that. But that's he kept hassling me. I had to do it, Martin, and so that was that's why I done it really.
But I know one of those British Championships. Obviously, you was riding for Wolverhampton at the time, and one of their riders, Preben Eriksson, was a bit wild, and you was on the outside. Probably a first corner incident, and you broke your back quite badly.
Shall I say, yeah, I can't remember the actual crash or nothing like that, but yeah, and then I was out for the rest of the year.
Apart from you come back
just for that one meeting.
For that, and I believe you had a cast on that day.
Yeah, they made me a strong thing, so Ed couldn't go forward and do it again. So I used that just for that one day and
won the British Championship.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky to do it really.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was that really. Yeah.
And then from there, I think you had sponsorship from Jowers for a season, or
yeah, they come out from Alan Bellham, and I used to ride the Jowers. Couldn't sort of really get on with them that well because probably being sort of little. They were sort of quite
bit bulky,
yeah.
And probably used to affect your leg and your knee quite a bit.
Probably really. Did, yeah. You know, I used to burn me on the leg and that, and couldn't sort of get on with them. Then went back to the West Lakes, and then and it was a lot better from there.
Yeah.
You know. It was fair play to Joe, they helped me out, and Alan did quite a bit, but it's not
if
always
they don't suit you,
no, it was not always a good thing, and it was sponsored up to the eyeballs, and if you're not doing
you've got to be winning.
Yeah, it's just sort of a lot of it can be psychological as well.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and that, but they didn't work for me, and that was that really.
So after you've been doing a bit of grass track and obviously going good, you then decided, I think I'll have a go at Speedway. So how did that come about then, Steve?
I suppose I got to blame my old mate Wiggy, I suppose, again for another thing for doing that. He said, "Oh, come down there, it's great down there, you go down there." And well, actually it was probably a bit before that actually. I think we used to, what happened was, I met someone, he's a friend of mine now, he's Umpers. So
Ian Humphfreys.
Yeah. Oh, you know him, do you?
Yeah.
You know him, do you?
So I'll take it you're going to tell me you used to go to Hackney on a Saturday afternoon.
What happened was we used to. He was walking down the road at the top of my road, and he had an Essex scooter, and he couldn't get going. He went, "Oi, you don't know anything about these?" I said, "No, mate, I don't." So it sort of started from there, and he sort of become good, sort of friends with me, or I'll say it's good, but he won't. You know what he's like.
Yeah. And he hadn't changed him.
Oh no, definitely not. And then he sort of. Well, my dad saw there was a bike for sale, and he couldn't get it, so he got it for him. And then we used to have a world final at Hackney every Saturday.
Yeah. Used to be quite a few of those.
I'll tell you what, you used to have to queue up for so long to get a ride.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people who used to go every Saturday, and it used to like that. And then he hassled me into going to Eastbourne the next day, so we used to go sort of, I don't know what year it was, we used to go Saturday Hackney and Sunday on Eastbourne, and just practising on Speedway now. And then the following year, like Wiggy said to me, "Oh, you might want to come down to the Weymouth," because he started down there. And
That's right.
He said it was going all right down there. You know, he's looking after you all right. Okay, so I went down there for a second half. He used to go all the way down there. It would rain at like half time. They called the second half off and I wouldn't get a ride, you know.
All the way there, all the way home.
And that was it for nothing. And then I sort of went there and then had a practice in the team, because Neil Street was the manager there then. And he said, yeah, keep coming down here, we'll get you some second half rides. So I had a few second halves, I used to enjoy, but it was a long way just for like 2 rides, and if you had a bit of bike trouble and
or a rain off.
a rain off, it wasn't nothing. So then I was lucky enough to gave me a chance in once, and I scored some points, and got in from there, and then went on to the next time, and then it went sort of from there really. Just kept going and sort of rode for Weymouth, and that was that.
And then from Weymouth, did you go to Wolverhampton or?
Yeah, went to Wolverhampton after Weymouth. I think it was a bit different track to Weymouth. Weymouth was like a bit of a grassy type track, a bit wider.
Yeah.
And Wolverhampton was like long and tight.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be honest, I couldn't really sort of handle it that well, coming from big to smallish. And so I didn't sort of get on too well. Then I had that wallop to start with in the first season, and then done the following season there as well. And then that it was all right, you know. Had it there, and then went to back to Paul actually, which was Weymouth, but
They transferred the.
everything went from Weymouth to Paul.
That's right, yeah.
So which was I went back there, so it was good really, because I knew a lot of people in the behind the scenes there and stuff, and went back to the sort of my old club really, and quite enjoyed it there.
Yeah, very successful. One of
quite good there, yeah.
One of the main heat leaders, and
then I think the actual riding career sort of pretty normal, and then in 1988 we had an influx of some Aussie boys, which I hated it when I got it, but when I look at it now, it was probably one of the best years I've had in my life.
Really?
Well, I used to sort of ride on a, say, Friday or Thursday, then go to abroad on the weekend, then I had to get back here early Monday. If I missed that early boat, I knew that the Aussie boys would be in the shed, and I couldn't get none of my stuff done for like the pool meetings on the next week. And I used to say to them, "Now listen."
That was Boyce, was it?
Yeah, Boyce, Langos, Boyce, and so we used to ride at Poole on the Tuesday. I think they changed the day to Tuesday, and then they used to go to Wimbledon on the Wednesday. Get right on it on the booze.
Back here.
Back here the next day, and then they used to go to, I think, Arena Thursday, Hackney Friday, somewhere Saturday. I think they used to go somewhere else, then get over it on Sunday. Then I used to be getting back here as fast as I could on a Sunday.
So get in the workshop.
Back here to get in the workshop, get all my stuff done for the Tuesday at Paul. And that used to go on. Oh, I used to hate it, absolutely hate it. I used to anyway, but when I look at it now, it was sort of
good times.
Yeah,
good times.
I wish I'd have probably got involved with them a lot more than I did really. You know, I think I missed out a bit, but it was Umpers that got into them.
Really?
Yeah, and he helped them out a lot, so I blamed him, but it was, no, I blamed the Aussies first of all, and it was all Umpers really to start with, but yeah, we had some good times together, but yeah, I still took with, I sort of ring Tony sort of quite a bit, and Steve and Craig and that, still keep in touch with them.
No, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you did go over to Australia and ride yourself, didn't you?
Yeah,
and was pretty successful. And
well, I went to the. They took a team over there for a short circuit. Oh no, I couldn't handle that, and it was left and right-handed. But I was sort of 2 straights and 2 corners for me. I wasn't a motocross rider, if you know what I mean. I couldn't do that, and I had to crash out there and broke my hand and didn't ride anymore. But done a couple of meetings, and then didn't go for a little while, and then went back after that on the Speedway mostly rather than short circuit, which was sort of a bit better for me really, because it was sort of straights and corners rather than
Yeah.
right-handed. I mean, Chris Watson was sort of mustard out there. He was sort of unbeatable, really, when he was there.
Yeah, he was pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Multi-Australian.
Yeah, he was.
champion.
Yeah, he was ever so good at it.
Yeah.
Really fast, especially for the right-handers. Stuff there.
So, how did it come about when you come and rode for Hackney? I mean, I was team manager then, and I've got to say, I've got to tell people this, that out of all the riders, I could always go up to Scully if we were a few points behind, and I'd say, do you reckon you could do Heat 6 or Heat 7? Yes, mate, no problem. Where I'd go up to some of the others, well, what gate am I on? Or who's in it? Oh no, can you not put me in that one, but put me in this one? But with Steve, it was always, yes, mate. And he was a diamond to work with, absolutely diamond.
I won't go that far.
You were.
Hackney,
That was probably Dave Pavitt, was it? That.
Yeah, I say Pav used to help me on with HL1 oil, and then I think, to be honest, really truthfully, I wanted to go to Wimbledon because it's only like just up
2
the
miles
road.
down the road.
Yeah. Anyway, but I think I was sort of stopped from going there. I don't know how, but
Probably Pav pulled a few strings,
Did
I
he?
suppose.
Right. And so I ended up, to be honest, I didn't want to go to Hackney. I loved it in the training school days, but couldn't really get round it very well in the racing days there. We used to go to Poole once or twice a year, that was it. And the Hackney boys were so good there. You got Kelvin, Loram, Louis, and, you know, where'd you stop, you know? And I thought, God almighty, I don't really want to go there. Anyway, it ended up I had to sign there, so I did. And I think I was very lucky and fortunate that they had a open meeting. And I don't know if someone was looking down at me, but I won it, to be honest with you. And it sort of, I was lucky, it went from there, if you know what I mean. It sort of learned to ride the track better. And another place was Arena, I couldn't get around there either. But with Hackney, we'd had like a 14 tournament and local challenge matches, and arenas were always involved. So I had to go there quite a bit, so I got a bit more used to that. I suppose it's riding that
it's all
sort of places.
practice, isn't it? And sorting like different lines out, gearings, and. But no, your days at Hackney, you know, you and Andy Galvin won the British best pairs, and
it's good there.
And I think you were top of the averages, and brilliant days. But then you went back to Poole, I believe, after Hackney.
Yeah, I went to Poole, I think, again.
Yeah.
Can't remember now, really. Went back to Poole, and then I went to Oxford. I rode there.
That's right, because you rode with Poole, my Poole.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you were.
Oxford.
Yeah.
I think we sort of was, I don't know.
Steve Purchase, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We rode there, and that went all right. Not sort of good. And then I think I went back to Poole after that. Oh, I can't remember, one or the other.
Yeah.
And that was, I think they sold Marvyn Cox to Poole. And he was a good bloke to have there at the time, you know. He sort of helped us out a bit and that, and got us sort of advisors on how to get round the place and things like that, because he was good at...
He was good cocker, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was
all
good.
places and stuff, and you know, he was a good rider. End of story, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. So right, moving back onto the grass track, obviously you won 7 350 British Championships, but probably the biggest, best well-known meeting was the Ace of Aces, and I've got to be honest, you had a habit of winning that. I think you won it 6 times, and probably finished on the rostrum 2 or 3 other times.
Wow,
So
really? I didn't know that.
you were the most successful rider of the Ace of Aces?
I was probably pretty lucky in the first couple of times I won it, because Wiggy said he sort of see the last lap flag and it should have been the finish flag, and then Banksy had a puncher and I caught him up from there, and so I think probably the third or the fourth time I was lucky to, when I won it then, that's when I suppose. But I think the one that I really wanted to win was the last one, because it was on a different field and the track was sort of real different and flat.
Yeah, it wasn't at Winterbourne Gunner, was it?
No, it wasn't.
No.
I can't remember where it was, but it was up the road a bit, and everything was going all right. And if you won the last meeting, they give you the trophy.
Right.
That's what they said.
And yeah, that would have been nice to have had, wouldn't it?
Would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I come to the final, and I finished fourth, I think, because couldn't work out what was wrong with the bike. Anyway, Mark Holder was sort of, I think Mark, he should have been riding rather than me really, because he sort of said, we're going to do this meeting, we're going to do that. And I've got to sort of thank him for sort of all the success, if you want to call it, or luckiness or whatever that I had, because he sort of mainly said, we got to do this and we got to do that, and I thought, oh God, have we got it really? And went there and liked, when I got there, I enjoyed it. And he was a good bloke to have in the pits, because he knew what was wrong with the bike straight away and all this, and he said, right, we'll go to the burn-up, because it always was the Aces and then the burn-up the following week. So,
again, you won the burn-up numerous occasions. The last two meetings of the year, you always, pulled something out of the bag and were definitely the one to beat.
Probably because people were saying, oh, it's the end of the year, I'm not too that bothered, so I just keep going. Anyway, when I went to the burn-up the following week, he said, right, we'll go out on the bike and try it in practice. Went out and it was still missing. Terrible. I said, right, come here, I'll take this in. I'll put another one on. And it was fine.
Steve Schofield comes up the inside of this. Steve Schofield leads. Simon Wigg guns the jar down the back straight. Steve Schofield is still right there with him. And a tremendous battle going on for first, second, third and fourth. Then Cunningham back to first, comes up to the crossing the line, number 2, Jason Crump, and then number 7, Zenek Snyder wins.
You must be pleased to come here once again and have a nice big win.
Yeah, it's nice to always win the last week in the year. I like it here, it's a good track and well prepared. It was excellent today, and very hard meeting, and it was good to win. And I thought, I made a start in the first one. Oh, when it was stopped, well, oh, here we go. And then I made a start in the rerun, and Wiggy passed me, and I was lucky enough to get past him again, and just keep your head down.
That was a pretty fair battle for those of us watching between you two. It's really good racing.
Yeah, I don't know, I wasn't watching it, I did it, but yeah, I suppose so.
Well, I can assure you it looked great, and it was good to see such very close racing, it was very clean racing, and clearly you were both determined to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, last week Simon won, and Chris Morton's only won this, the only rider to win the 2 meetings at the same year, and Simon didn't do it this year, so I won it today. But no, I mean, like, talking on Glenn, I think he's had a superb season, you know, and as he said, it's been a good laugh, but he's kept me entertained for the season, and it's been really appreciated, Glenn. He's shown what life's all about, actually. 20 years of age, he's shown what life's all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Schofield, the winner of the Bonfire Burn-up. So let's hear it once again now for the top 3. Steve Schofield, Glenn Cunningham and Joe Strange.
So he sussed that out, and that's what
Stopped you winning the last race of paces.
Yeah, really. Not being flash or big-headed, but I think I probably would have been could have won it on the day, and I could have had the trophy then. But I think Simon won it.
He did.
He did, yeah.
He did win that one.
Yeah, which was good for him, really.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I think that was probably the last big meeting that he did win it.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously he was diagnosed.
Well, yeah. It should never have been like that, though.
No, it shouldn't have been. Tragic, real tragic.
Yeah.
He's missed even now.
Oh, terrible.
I think the sport would be in a much better position.
Yeah, definitely.
Both Speedway and grass track.
I mean, at times I used to ring him up and say, yeah, what about so-and-so? I've got to go here this week. You've been there before, what's it like? Oh yeah, blah blah blah, do this, do that, no. Right, okay, get there, and everything he said was
spot on.
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
And he was still keep going. And he sort of said to me, you've got to start getting abroad from when I first started as well. I'll have to blame him for lots of things, really. He got me into Speedway, then he got me into racing abroad, then he's got me into, never going to hear the last of it, the poor old fella. No,
he helped Paul quite a bit.
Yeah.
Especially when he was ill and he couldn't race. He went to quite a few meetings with Paul.
Right.
And he got him sponsorship with C France. And with John Gillard with the van. So Simon done quite a lot with Paul.
Oh, he used to help out quite a bit.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, knowing Julian as well.
Yeah.
He's a terrific bloke.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other thing that always stuck in my mind was that you should have been, you should have been European grass track champion on a couple of occasions, and something went wrong. I can remember the one in France where Jono won. I mean, you were so far or so much quicker than anyone else that day, but then unfortunately we had a thunderstorm, and you had finished your races, and Jono had one more. They held the meeting up a bit, and then Jono went out and won his race, so you were both in the final. And he just he had been out in them conditions and knew where to ride, and unlucky for you, he was on the outside gate, which just gave him the run round where all the grip was. But you should have won that one.
It's always should have, isn't there? I was absolutely gutted actually on that day.
Yeah, I was gutted for you as well.
I had 3 seconds in that European.
I know.
I mean, the one with the Kloppenberg. Now Kloppenberg, you always had to, if you got the inside gate, you was forget it, don't even bother, because it was so green.
That's right.
But if you got the outside gate, it was a
was
lot
the one.
better. And there was a run-off for second place. And what happened? I chose gate 1, didn't I? So I sort of forgot that. I managed to finish second in the end, but that was like, oh. And then they had one in Holland, I think, and that didn't go very. So it was a bit of a negative thing, that European Championship.
Yeah.
Didn't work for. I'd like to have won it, to get one of them nice FI.
Yeah.
Because when I go and see Jono, walk in his house and there's things hanging up in the room. So,
And you think that should have been mine.
Took the mick out of it. And I see that, well, I like that.
Yeah.
But it's a nice sort of memento to have on it.
That's right, yeah. But when they changed the World Long Track to a series, I mean, really and truly, you should have won that year, the first World. I mean, you was unfortunate the first round at Adward in Holland. You had a bit of an incident, which you can probably tell us about.
Well, to be honest, I can't remember much about it. The best thing to do is ask Mark, he'll tell you. But what happened was it was sort of patchy and grippy, the track, and I couldn't sort of ride it. I mean, to be a champion, you've got to ride everything. It's like Wiggy, he used to ride everything, never complained. But I hit some grip and went hit the fence and went over the fence and landed and got into the B final. And then that was that. So, and then there was 5 meetings, as I think.
Yeah, well,
there was that one. There was one at Cloppenburg, which I was lucky enough to win that.
Yeah.
Then the next one was at Marmande, I think.
And that one you could have, well, you
Chain
lost the
cut
chain
off
in the
final.
final when you was virtually in front.
Well, Paul won that easy.
Well, we don't know what would have happened, but you were both going good that day. But in saying that, it all then come down to the last meeting at Marilansky.
Yeah, there was another one before that at Farkirchen.
Was there?
Yeah.
Can't remember that one.
1,000 metre one as well. And that I didn't go very well. I had bike trouble there as well. And so I only sort of finished sort of 2 out of the 5.
But even
Probably.
so, when it comes to the last one at Marilansky, you were still in with a good shout of winning.
Yeah, I had to win the last one to keep in with a shout of it, really. I was lucky enough to win it. Because it's nice there. I mean, you've probably been there before, haven't you? Yeah. It's a lovely track there. And and I was lucky enough to win it. And then I think Tommy Duncan finished in the final as well, but he was enough points to sort of me not to catch him, really.
Well, there is a little story to that.
Oh, right.
Is that for Tommy Dunker to finish where he did in that final, which gave him enough points to beat you, there was a couple of riders who had a brown envelope.
Oh, I see.
And I was told that by one of them riders.
Oh, right.
So it was not fair, really, but those type of things did go
happen,
on.
I suppose.
But you
they?
should have definitely won that year.
Well,
And,
I'd like to have done, but there you go. I finished second anyway. But you don't remember the second place, man, do you?
No, but then of course the following year, again you was on the rostrum and finished third, and that was when we had Barth, Clayton Wigg and Riss all come back.
That was probably, I would say, a better result than the year before. I was more happy with that.
I can imagine.
The actual people that were in it were like, because the year before they didn't want to do it.
No, that's right.
So they said, oh well, yeah, you should have won it anyway. You should. I was always should have's, but they don't know the full story on things.
No.
And then I always think that was a better result being third than being second, if you know what I mean. I was more happy with that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And because there was...
Everyone was there.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So no, it was a good result.
Yeah, so it was quite sort of tough, that one.
Yeah. What was your sort of favourite tracks abroad then? You obviously you like the Marilanskis.
Yeah, I think Marilansky, Moldorf.
Yeah. Herksheim.
Yeah.
Did you prefer them type of tracks to the grass tracks, or?
I used to like the grass tracks as well. But 1,000 metre it was an art in it. It was a learning. You couldn't sort of get on a bike. Oh yeah, I'll do this.
No, you got to keep your wheels in, like.
Well, the thing is that we went to Herksheim and Craig Boyce came to, and he come there and he's got there on practice. He said, "God, go have some of this. This is lovely, isn't it?" So when I had my first race, and I think I finished midfield or quite a way back, coming absolutely plastered, he said to me, "I ain't going to do this anymore. I could have done it like this." It gets plastered like that. I said, "Well, you got to sort of get out of the way and sort of wave out the way of the dirt," and that, but I didn't do that. I got well hammered. So.
No, it all comes with experience, though. Steve.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
Yeah, to miss the dirt and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you don't realise that until I always remember going back to Wiggy again. I went to a place called I think it was Rumilly.
Down France.
Yeah, but it was over the other side, weren't it?
I think I might have actually come with you. I think we went in Roger Maynard's van.
Oh, you probably did, yeah.
Yeah, both of us went.
Yeah, and I only went there once. And I went there and got to this race and I got a bit filled in. And I pulled my goggles down and he came up to me after the race and said, "Don't ever do that again." I said, "What?" He said, "Take your goggles off." He said, "You'll go blind." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, this sand and all this dirt gets in your face and your eyes are too much more important than sort of racing and getting dirt in them." And ever since then I sort of...
Took it on board.
Yeah, you know, another thing he sort of said, "Well, him again." That bloke, he's got a lot to answer for, hasn't he?
Yeah. So, then obviously you was riding your own bikes, and another guy, a good friend of mine, and obviously a good friend of yours, Tony Steggles.
Oh yeah.
Come and he was a good help.
Yeah, he used to come to the on the continent mainly a lot of the time, to long tracks and grass tracks and stuff, and sort of advised me to do this, do that. Very sort of down to
good engineer.
Sort of,
good engineer.
Yeah, very
done
good.
a lot for Trevor Edge.
Yeah, I still keep in touch with him now, actually, Tone, and he still plays his tennis.
Yeah, he's pretty fit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a fit bloke, and his partner Ange and that, nice to talk to them. It's nice to sort of keep in touch with sort of people, you know, certain people. Yeah, it's nice, you know. But, he helped me out quite a lot and do this and do that, and I think you should ride here or ride there, you know, on the track lines and stuff like that, and he sort of was good influence on helping stuff what he helped me with and that.
Yeah, but obviously your main man was Mark Holder.
Who?
Mark Holder.
Well, that bloke, he's got me into more trouble when riding than anything. I mean, we got to do this meeting, we got to do that meeting. We used to leave on a Friday, and then we always had to get back for the last boat, or as quickly as we could, to sort of Zeebrugge or Calais, because he had to get back to work for 8 o'clock Monday morning, and he always used to do it, and
which probably helped you out with the Aussies.
Oh, yeah, getting me back here, and that was him. Sort of, I could put a tick on his name for that bit with the Aussies on. Yeah, but no, it was. And good thing about Marky is he used to, I don't know how I got involved with him actually. I'll have to ask him that. How he sort of started coming with me. I can't think now, but he was good. He used to drive a lot. He always, and plus the fact I didn't have a clue where I'm going, but he was very good on that. He used to say, "Oh, we got to go this way and that way," and that, and he knew sort of where to go and how to do things. And I can't think of it. It's probably. He should have been riding really, because he'd have had more, you know, his name should have been on that thing really rather than me. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Because it was him that sort of rode the bike. Really, it was just that, just me was sat on it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But no, can't thank the guy enough really for what he helped me with, and he's still doing it now.
Yeah, he's got one of your bikes in the workshop, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's building up a 350.
Yeah, he is. He's building me 350 up for me.
Yeah, which is good, isn't it?
But I'm terrible with things like all that sort of stuff. I mean, I was clearing the shed out the other day, and I found a thing 1979 British Championship.
Really?
Braintree.
Really?
Like a little pennant, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible condition it's in. It's, you know, but that's me, isn't it? Useless, you know.
And another guy that helped you a little bit, and actually you brought him over to Hackney, Hughie Gessner. He come and he rode for Hackney for a
he
few
rode for a
meetings.
little bit, didn't he?
But much better long track rider than what he was Speedway.
Yeah, he sort of got me into the getting the right sort of bike set up for the 1,000 metre stuff and all that, because he was German and that's all they used to sort of get on with. They knew how to sort of ride it and what clutches to have and getting all that right and stuff.
Yeah, different gears for the gearbox.
And all that.
You've got to change first gear and
they know all that. And when we just buy a gearbox and away you go and you get sort of drop the clutch and think, crikey, they're
where
about
are
50
they
on. Yeah, where are they? And they're miles in front of you.
That's right.
That was he was a good old boy on the continent. So I used to leave a bike over there sometimes, and it's just because I used to do a bit of speedway in Germany as well, and he used to sort that out as well, and just go.
Yeah, you used to. Yeah, you need someone like that over there. You know, they know the ropes, don't they?
And pretty lucky to have someone like that, you know.
Yeah.
That just helps you out and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that was that really.
Yeah, and well, Mark told me actually that
he would. He knows everything.
we move on to probably the worst day of your life at Collier Street. The Bonfire Burn-up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for some unknown reason, that track was so fast that day.
Right.
But the only problem was there was a dirt line, and which was not very wide. And when it comes to the final, everyone wanted to be on that dirt line.
Right.
And then obviously you probably can't remember.
No.
But you had a coming together with Jason Crump and Joe Screen. You all three sort of went into the fence, and unfortunately you come off worse. And it wasn't very good at all, which did in fact finish your career.
Yeah.
Gird Riss, I noticed, took this outside gate. Now, is the tactic going to be that everybody else will bunch on the first bend, he rides the boards round the outside in all the built up loose? We've seen it work 2 or 3 times for different riders this afternoon. I'm sure that's going to be Gird Riss's tactic. Paul Hurry has chosen a line right alongside him. Schofield has taken a successful grid in the middle. That's where there's been some quick starts this afternoon. Away they go. Jason Crump has made a good one. Gird Riss on the outside. Here with Doncaster's been there as well. Riding together as they go in that first turn. And indeed the red flag is up.
But Mark was telling me that the week after that particular meeting, Marcel Gerhard had invited you down to his place where he wanted to supply engines for you for that
really?
following season. Did you know that, or?
Not 100%, no.
You couldn't remember?
No, I couldn't remember that, no.
No, but that's, yeah.
That would have been nice, yeah.
Yeah, he's nice chap, Marcel.
Yeah.
And brilliant engine tuner.
Yeah.
And obviously made his own Speedway engine, which it should have gone a lot further than what it did. I think people were a bit short-sighted.
Yeah.
But no, Mark told me that you were,
Oh, did he? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you did spend quite a long time in hospital, didn't you?
Yeah. So, but yeah, my wife, she sort of looked after me really well, you know, and stuff. Well, lots of people sort of helped out doing things for me, you know. Well, I couldn't do nothing myself.
No.
You know, so,
no, but it's good that you got back to fitness, and obviously you go to work and I'm sure you would have gone on to have raced for probably another 3 or 4 years and been successful.
Maybe it was somebody saying it's about time we stopped with that.
You never know, do you?
No, it may have been something like that. I don't know.
It was a sad day, very sad day. But anyway, moving on from there. So yeah, your favourite tracks was obviously Herxheim and Maldorf, and what about English tracks? Obviously the Winterbourne Gunner, Collier Street.
Where? Yeah, definitely them two. I used to like them. Yeah.
You never really had a liking for the North Berks one, did you?
No, I couldn't sort of. It's funny you say that, but I mean, I won the British meeting. There's a British Championship there, but I just couldn't seem to sort of get on. I mean, they had a European Championship around there.
Yeah.
And I had a chain come, or something happened in one race night to run it round, push it round to get a point, and things. I don't know. I just couldn't seem to get on with the place. I don't know why.
Do you think some of these tracks, you know, you mentioned a couple of other ones that the Wimborne track, you didn't.
I couldn't get on there very well.
No, do you think it was to do with your size, probably?
Maybe. Probably a bit. Have to be a bit stronger on places.
Yeah, a bit stronger, taller, and.
Yeah, I probably is with that, because that was quite. Fitness place was the or strength place like the North Berks, and plus the Wimborne was always heavy and deep.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, when it was sort of early in the meeting, I was always doing all right. And then when they got a bit heavier at the end, I was sort of struggling.
They did used to cut up a bit, didn't they? And the North Berks was always a little bit ripply, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that used to cause grip and.
Yeah, knock it out. Sort your strength out, you know, and that. And fitness and stuff, but it was always hard there for me. But as I say,
we all had our favourites and not favourites. I think we could say that about any rider, really.
Yeah, I mean, down in Kent, like it was always sort of
Scotch Marsh.
Yeah,
down
Scotch
on the
Marsh Farm. Yeah, it was always good down there.
Yeah,
you know.
No, they were always good. Yeah.
Yeah, and like College Street. I mean, Ray and Tom used to run a real good meeting there, you know, and everything, and they helped me out when I got smashed up as well. They've done a meeting for me and stuff, which was really good of them.
No, Tom was a real good bloke.
Yeah.
Well, and his brother John as well.
Yeah.
You know, they put a. It's a shame that place is not going.
Yeah, it is really.
It's real shame.
Yeah.
But and obviously we do miss the Ace of Aces as well.
Yeah, that's another one, isn't it? Yeah.
But the problem is now, Steve, there's just not the top class of riders. Probably because of Polish Speedway.
Yeah.
But you know, like when you was racing and winning championships, you name them. You know.
I always used to think at the years ago, there always used to be what they call the Lyddon International down at Lyddon Racetrack. Horrible place because it was
short one end
and grass the other. And I only ever done that once, I think. I didn't do any good there, but they used to have a field over over the back, and they had one meeting there once.
Yeah.
Which was quite good,
Quite
really.
a good track.
And but they never had it there again. But that was always the end of the year when that was happened. They always used to get like a lot of top speedway riders always used to ride it, and go from there. And it was always sort of the end of the season then.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Chesson, who was the promoter, he always sort of brought in either Major and Ollie Olsen, Barry Briggs, Anders Michenet, and I can, you know, Malcolm Simmons, John Louis, Dave Jessup.
Yeah.
That was probably the forerunner to maybe the Ace of Aces and the Hereford Grand Prix.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, in your era, and probably mine to a certain extent, I mean, you had Simon Wigg, Mark Loram, Joe Screen, Marvyn Cox, Trevor Banks, Simon Cross, Clayton Williams. You could go to a meeting and as Bob said, you could probably name 10 riders who you think would win, but someone else would win.
Yeah.
You know, someone would. I mean, the Ace of Aces. We all thought, you know, it would either be you or Simon. Chris Morton turned up and won, and you wouldn't have thought that.
He was the only one that won the Aces and the Burn-up the same year.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, there was one meeting at the Aces. I think I was pretty lucky to win it, really. If Loram had made the half more better a gate, he would have killed me. Easy. Because like that day, he was so fast. And he, from the last corner to the finish, he nearly done me then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the race starts from when the tapes go back.
Yeah, I know, but
and obviously you made a good gate, and that's all part of it.
Well, he always used to miss him anyway, didn't he?
He did quite a bit. Made it exciting for the crowd.
Well, he did, yeah, very exciting.
He was
great rider. You know.
Yeah, he was very good. I helped him quite a bit in his early years.
Yeah.
And no, he's a terrific bloke.
Yeah.
As is Joe Screen. And,
he's another one.
But no.
This is the race that counts. Only this one. The points have gone. They were qualifying. Down the hill they go. Who's going to break the lead? It's Steve Schofield out front. Marcel Gerhard goes with him. It's Marcel Gerhard. Down the outside, Mark Loram in third place, off to the far side. Looks like Robert Barth up into the fourth. There's a tremendous battle going on here with Steve Schofield and Marcel Gerhard side by side. Mark Loram in third, I in fourth place, up to the 24th. Second place, Mark Loram in third, Robert Barth in fourth, the middle is off to the far side, and Marcel Gerhard challenges again. It's Gerhard coming round the outside, Scully looks over his shoulder, Gerhard is there, Loram is there, then Barth, then Trevor Banks, another way back to the street. It's Marcel Gerhard in second place, it's Steve Schofield in the lead, and here goes Loram looking for second place, Loram coming round the outside, Gerhard up the inside, hands on to second place, it's Steve Schofield in the lead, it's still Schofield, Gerhard. Schofield up in front, and Loram's going to have a go at Schofield surely as the check flag goes out, and Loram tries to come right round the outside of the line as they go for the flag, it's Schofield that wins, Loram in second place, Marcel Gerhard third, Robert Barth in fourth, then Trevor Banks, then number 30, Terry Allaire, and I think I've lost my voice. What can you say? What can you say? What a race, what a finish. Well, there we go, Steve Schofield's sixth win at the Ace of Aces. Mark Loram in second place, and Marcel Gerhard, who fought every inch of the way, in third place. What a race.
So, have you still got any bikes at all apart from the one Mark's got, or?
I've got, he's got a 500 of mine, he's got a 350 of mine, he's rebuilding. I've got another one in the shed, which, funny enough, you should say that, someone busted in, broke into my garage, and they nicked it.
Really?
Nicked the bike. Anyway, I don't know what happened, but someone put a thing out on the Facebook, and they said someone's just phoned me up. Actually, a bloke I know who lives up the road here, he said, a geezer's just rung me. He said, I've got a bike for sale. I don't know what it is. Someone's just offered me a bike. So then he rang me up. He said, oh, I might have a little bit of a result on your thingy. I don't know yet until I go and see it. He ain't got a clue what bike it is. So he went and saw him. He said, as soon as I was walking up to it, I could see your name on the back of the seat. He said, I knew it was yours. I was getting like 100 yards away from it. I said, I could see it was your bike. He said, I know who that is. He said, I don't want to know nothing about it, this bloke said to him. He said, someone's just offered it to me to sell, to buy. So my mate just said, right, I'm taking it. So he took it and he gave it back to me, which was good of him to do it. His name was Plug. I ain't seen it for ages actually. And he got it back for me, and they nicked the engine plates, the silencer and the tank. There used to be, I had to have the tanks, because being a midget, I had to have the tank specially made for the small bikes.
Yeah.
So there was a bloke called John the Welder.
Yeah, I know John, yeah.
Yeah, he used to
Oh, I didn't know John.
Yeah, he used to make tanks for me, and they nicked the tank. Now you have to get another tank done. It's just in the shed, and just left there now at the moment with no silencer and tank on it. But other than that, everything else is there.
Could be another project for Mark.
Oh, definitely for Mark, yeah. He'll have to have that one, get on with it. He can do it, because I won't be doing it. Yeah, but no, he's a good old boy, Marky. Yeah.
So have you any regrets on your racing career? You know, do you wish you had gone and ridden for a different team, or
No.
or maybe?
Not at all, really. As I say, I was a bit nervous when I signed for Hackney, but I think I was very lucky that it went okay on the first night, and then the next week I sort of got a bit better and better and better, and learnt the track then. But I used to ride there every Saturday. I used to love it. World final every week. It was like, it used to be Fitzy and, you know. And
That's yeah.
remember Fitz and like Cliff Hort and all the boys up there, and like, you know, every Saturday we used to meet up. Didn't used to talk to each other because it was racing.
That's right. Yeah, got the race face on them.
Yeah, that used to be every Saturday. But,
it's such a shame that we haven't got that now.
Yeah,
you know, the Saturday afternoons. Obviously, they had the dog racing in the morning.
Yeah,
and
dogs
then
in the morning.
The sheets used to go down, didn't they? And
2 o'clock till 5.
Yeah, and then the queues.
Yeah,
Queues. You'd get back and put it straight in line and do your
back.
dope and oil
Yeah.
while you was lining up.
Yeah. I think there was hunters that got me going there. I didn't really want to go. He said, we'll have to go there every week. We got to go there. So every week we used to go there, Hackney, but used to enjoy it, really.
He was a bit of a boyo, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He rode for Arena for a few seasons, didn't he?
He did. He done quite well there, really, because it's not an easy place to...
No, tight corners.
Yeah, long straights and tight corners. It's,
yeah. A lot of home track advantage there.
Yeah.
But, no.
There is. But,
so what? Obviously, when you first started, everyone was using upright engines, and then obviously later on they went to lay downs, and obviously you went to lay downs. What would you say about that? Do you think it was a good thing? Did you find it easier to ride a lay down? Or?
Honestly?
Yeah, be honest.
Didn't see no difference to me.
Really?
No, not really. I couldn't sort of notice massive amount of difference, really. Probably lifting at the gate wasn't so bad because the more weight was forward, but I still used to lift at the gate anyway. But
do you think it made it a bit more expensive on engines?
Oh yeah, it did make the sport a bit more expensive there. But it's the future and things change, don't they? There's nothing we can do.
You can't stop progress.
No, it's progress,
Unfortunately.
and it happens like that. But it's a shame, really, that it's not as prominent as it was really, because you used to sort of go to the grass track and then you used to get the Speedway boys go on from the grass, like.
That's right.
You know, Pete Collins and Chris Morton and all them, they used to start on grass, and then
Yeah.
Les and Phil and all them.
Yeah.
You know.
Of course, you know, there still is schoolboy grass track, junior grass track.
Yeah.
But not like it used to be. I mean, there used to be 2 clubs in Kent. So at one point, I think there was even 3.
Really?
But I know when Paul first started, he could ride every week in Kent.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, really, with your career, because you didn't actually do schoolboy grass track only when you become sort of finished with the football.
Yeah.
You probably missed out on 4 years of racing compared to like the Marvyn Coxes and Simon, because they all done 3 or 4 years in the schoolboys where you only had that last, and then riding on your own you don't tend to learn too much.
That's right, yeah.
You learn to ride the bike, but not how to overtake people. Or
I used to do the highway, and I used to go to Stapleford somewhere in Essex and just ride on my own and that, and then I used to have to go and do the big sort of South East and Centre meetings. I used to join the Twickenham Club, and then we got the Gazettes come through.
That's right, you went to the meeting.
Yeah, and first of the month, I right out quick. Used to send it off quickly, but quite a few times I used to get refused because there was too many riders.
Yeah,
you know.
And now they're crying out for riders.
Yeah, and now it's like the opposite. It's totally different.
Yeah, it's such a shame. I don't know whether that's due to cost. Probably this is, you know, so much else for people to do.
Yeah.
In our day, we didn't have Sky Telly or mobile phones or Game Boys or Xboxes
and all that stuff.
So, it all costs money, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it must frighten parents when a lad wants to say, I want to do Speedway or I want to do grass track. You know, they probably go to a grass track and see Andrew Appleton or James Shanes is set up, and you know there's 2 or 3 bikes in the pits and a nice shiny van, and they think, oh, you know, can we afford to do that? And the same with the Speedway.
Yeah.
But so what advice would you give to any young lads that want to take the sport up?
Just sort of don't sort of give up. Yeah, I'm going to be this good straight away. It just don't take 5 minutes to get. Well, it didn't me, because I was, you know, just had to just keep at it all the time, and just sort of don't sort of do anything rash, and just sort of take your time and learn it. Learn how to ride the bike, learn all the maintenance. So, I mean, we used to do all the maintenance ourselves. All the Aussie boys used to do it all in the shed and everything. But now they just seem to sort of just get on the bike. Get on the bike and that's it.
Yeah.
What, do you want to do the clutch? What do I do there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just so I'll let the mechanic do it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just so different now to what it was then. But just sort of go with the flow and just take your time on it. You know? Yeah. That's all I reckon, really. Probably the wrong thing to say, but
no, I don't think it is. It's everyone's got to learn, haven't they? No matter what field you're in, whether it's you know, your normal working job or being a footballer, you have to learn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had that picture for so long. I mean, that was like, how can I say? Well, all them blokes were sort of good in the south east. I mean, like him was good in a 2.5 or 500 there, and that you got Colin Packman,
terrific rider,
and I think he might have been reserved for the 500. Brian Webb, do you? In the 250 then, or not?
He would definitely have been in the 250s.
Yeah.
But probably maybe the 500s would have been John, Rowland and Marcel.
And he would have been reserved, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I think I was reserved on the 250, definitely.
Was you?
Yeah, I wasn't in the 250. But being sort of...
But you would have probably been in the 350s, wouldn't you?
No, I weren't.
Was you not?
No. That
Do you
was
want to
the
show that
350s,
picture? The semi-final was down at Wimborne and it was a real stony meeting.
Can you just hold it up a bit? That's it, yeah. What a grab.
Yeah. Did they used to, in them days, didn't they used to have 250, 350 and 500 British champions all in one day?
All on one day.
I thought they did, you know, because I think I might have been on the 250 there, reserve mark. It's a long way, but I thought you'd have been in that.
I was reserving the 350. Yeah, they had the semi-final down at Wimborne, real stony, and I think in the second race I copped a stone in the eye, and I could only then see out of one eye because it cut it and whatever. But I think that was the 350 final. Clayton Williams won that one.
What was it?
And Trevor won the 500s.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, the semi-final was down at Wimborne, Blandford Forum, I think. Very, very stony, and I copped.
It was down there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I copped a stone in the eye and couldn't see very well, and I only ended up as reserve in the 350. I think I might have got excluded in one 500 race down there for some reason.
Yeah.
But it was one of them things. But I think Clayton Williams won his first 350 championship there.
Yeah.
Trevor Banks won the 500s, and I think Dave Babert won the 250s. And Ben Heath won the sidecar. So my memory's alright. My memory's alright. But who did you used to look up to then, Steve, when as a lad and you went to Wimbledon and
What I used to look up to?
yeah, to the riders, Speedway, Grasstrack, or
My dad took me to a meeting, you'd have been riding there, at Frittenden,
right,
when I was sort of just starting to look about it, and it was a Frittenden meeting, and there was you, John Bridger, Dukey. I don't know why, but Roland really sort of...
caught your eye.
Yeah.
He did have a nice tidy style.
Yeah.
He did have a nice
what
style.
happened was, when you're what I'm going to say now, you'll say, yeah, that's what used to happen. You used to have to register your number.
Yeah.
25, you was 86, John Bridger was 26, and you go out of centre,
Yeah.
you might be 126 or 186.
That's right, yeah.
But, so when I registered my number, 25, I wanted to be like Dukey. I think no way I'm going to be like that. So what I've done, I put a 3 in front of the 25 and I thought, God, so I put 5 in that. So I turned to 2, 5 as a 2 round, put 3 in front of it, and that's how I got the number for 352.
352 from Roland.
And
really.
that, all them years ago.
Yeah.
It's probably before that. And as I saw him there, and that's how I got that number.
Yes, interesting.
Because it was Marky said, what's a pain in the arse of a number to have? When you go out, you got to do this tape, and he was ever so good with the tape, making the numbers. And then he used to love it when we do it was like number 14 or number 11 or number 1. Yeah. And that. So he used to do all that with the numbers, but he never used to like the big number when I used to have to ride that number. Especially when there was 2 bikes and there was 6 of them.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be like Reg Luckhurst. So you are now telling me you wanted to be like Roland Duke. And I know my Paul always wanted and looked up to Simon Wigg.
Oh, really?
He didn't bother what his dad done, or he didn't want to be like me.
No.
It was always Simon Wigg this, Simon Wigg that, and that's who Paul wanted to be.
Yeah, but you had a brilliant career as well. I mean,
yeah, I've done all right.
I remember seeing you.
Had me moments.
Yeah. Well, I can remember seeing you at a New Romney track, and it was ever so dusty there. It was like a square track, and God, you was mustered round there. It was quite a big track, but it was square. It was down at New Romney.
Yeah.
And, it was.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
I can remember more about other people's races than I can my own.
Yeah, that's. I think the thing is like people say, "Oh, can you remember so and so?" And you say, "Not really," but you say something related to the sport, but not in the actual race. You can remember that more easily than
That's
You
right.
know, like when the Aussies were around, they was getting on the booze, and I remember all that, or getting back to the shed, try and get in before they got back in there,
Yeah,
before they
Yeah.
started in there.
yeah,
And I can remember that better than winning big races, you know what I mean? Because they used to be,
yeah,
as I say, the actual racing side of things was all it was. And when they turned up, he sort of lifted it right up,
That's right.
up a bit, just for
yeah,
the
yeah,
actual crack and the laugh, and
yeah. Put
enjoyed
another
yourself.
dimension on things.
yeah,
Didn't
it did. Yeah.
they? Yeah,
They probably taught us what it should be like.
yeah, yeah.
And things.
Yeah, no, it's anyway. It has been really good catching up with you, Steve.
Yeah.
And you know, we've learnt a lot on your career and how you started.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to wish you all the best for the future,
Yeah, it's very nice of you to come up
and
here,
want to see you at a few more grass tracks in
Maybe.
the future.
Ask Marky. Yeah.